Doctors of Reddit, what is the most obvious lie a patient has ever told about their health history? Are you sexually active? Turns and looks at mother. I've had multiple women claim to not have had sex in years while holding their positive pregnancy tests in my hand. I've had this happen so many times. There was a 3-month pregnant lady who claimed it's impossible for her to get pregnant because her husband has been out of the country for the past 7 months. We got a lot of mandible fractures in the OR and it was always the same basic story of what happened. I was minding my own business and some guy sucker punched me at the bar. I fell off my bed and hit my nightstand. You could tell these people very clearly were in a brawl of some sort. I have a very hard time believing all of them were walking their grandmother to church and a random person punched them. I once gave myself a bruised orbital bone trying to pull my blankets up. So I'll believe a lot. My toddler gave me a refine grader black eye. He was sitting on my lap and just slammed his head into my face. No one believed me that my 1-year-old gave me a black eye. It was better than any of the black eyes I got from hockey. Last week in an endocrine clinic, discussing an obese diabetic patient's weight gain and diet, I went through each of her meals asking when and what she eats. Essentially, she told me that she drinks a glass of water around noon each day and that's it. Still gaining weight. My attending, I'm a resident, told me I should have recommended that she drink half a glass of water instead. In all seriousness though, some people can't even be honest with themselves. So it's not worth getting upset if they're dishonest with you. Just keep encouraging them in the right direction. This is practically nearly every patient on my 600-pound life. I don't know what I'm doing wrong while they inhale a kajillion hamburgers in one sitting. Patient brought to the ER was allegedly naked in his bedroom making a salad when he accidentally sat on an upright cucumber. I brush and floss every day. Well, your gingivitis tells a different story, Karen. No one ever tells the true story when something is stuck up their butt. I crammed it up there, you've got to believe me. I used to work in X-ray. Sometimes people don't know they're lying. Have you had any metalware replacement? No, they just fixed the bone. Do the X-ray and it's a massive rod in there, and the patient literally had no idea that was there. Or the sadder cases of elderly people who just don't know. You tell them they've had a hip replacement, and they just don't believe you. When I worked in a gyn office, a patient had a really nasty infection in her lady part and we could see obvious claw marks in her canal. Her story? She had gotten out of the shower, laid on the back on the bed with her legs up and lifted her cat up above her. She then said she dropped the cat and the paw went into her lady part. What? I have so many questions I don't think I actually want the answers to. I put the carrot in there to try to stop my hemorrhoids bleeding, but it went in too far and now it's stuck. The doctors that are dentists are probably thinking I floss every day. Hygienist during my last visit. So, you know how like, when you're flossing, me, nodding my head knowing full effing well I don't floss. I worked in a hospital for quite a while though not as doctor. Normally it isn't lying about stuff deliberately. They are often convinced of what they're saying. For instance, a guy explained to me that it was normal for him to have very high blood pressure because he had it all the time. This is not normal. Going down for a smoke then coming up with a Pepsi and eating is not normal. The doc even told him, "You are not going to grow old like that." Yes, I am sexually active. Are you sexually active? God, I wish. Nurse practitioner ruts for all sorts of dogs. I have not done any of those. How dare you ask me? Well, they were in your urine. So how did that happen? That mother effing nurse planted them on me. Or someone must have been snorting coke and it came in through the windows and I inhaled it. Both completely true stories. Unreal. Nah man. You're guitar-booking coke and shooting up. We all see your track marks. I had a similar thing when shadowing a lawyer. I don't know how I have oxycodone in my urine. It had to have been at the hospital. They gave it to me when I got there. They gave you morphine, not the substance you tested positive for. I can't explain it. Not a doctor, but I've had a few doctors raise eyebrows and when I was a university student lying about how much I drank a week. Also, I imagine the any consumption of recreational dogs question got a lot of false negatives. What's the point of lying about it? The point of lying about it is huge. He keeps a record of what recreational dogs you said you take. Obviously this is protected information. But guess what? If you ever want to join the army you have to allow them your medical records, and if you admit doing them, no job. If a court ever orders your medical records be released, guess what? It will show you admitted to dog use. Anesthesiologist here. Patient lies about using dogs while needing twice the anesthetic of a normal person. It's sad to see. My old Swiss doctor used to ask the question how many drinks per day and then double it. I'm guilty of that. I try not to lie to my doctor. But binge drinking for women starts at 4 drinks. 4 drinks. I honestly don't believe I have an issue with alcohol. I rarely have more than 1 drink in an evening during the week. I don't drink every day. I never black out. I don't need it to have fun, etc. But I can drink 4 beers over the course of an evening and not even feel it. My diabetic patients, I take my insulin. I eat well. My finger sticks are in the 120-150 range while their A1C is 13. My effing grandma. Stop lying to the damn doctors and ignoring their instructions, grandma. Take your effing meds and do your treatments before I lose my dart, cause I love her and want her around for as long as possible. Damn. Back in my drinking alcoholic days, I was trying to convince multiple hospital staff, post blood work, that I hadn't had any alcohol. My back was 0.50 and I shouldn't have even been breathing. I once had an alcoholic patient with a back of 0.72. It was so high that I had to manually calculate it using the measured osmol in the blood because our machines only go up to 0.5. He was happily goose-stepping around the ER. Not at ER, but when my mill lies through her teeth to explain her blood sugar being so high and lying about what she eats. She's a nurse practitioner BTW. My mill has a carton-a-week habit of smoking. Everyone has tried to get her to quit but she just won't. She tried to tell us she couldn't take any of the medications to help quit because her doctor said they're dangerous. Her entire apartment and everything in it reeks of cigarette smoke. When she would come over to our house we told her she wasn't allowed to smoke inside or even outside. But it didn't matter. Our entire house stunk of smoke after she left, even if she was there for only an hour. The first year we were in our new house years ago she gave us her artificial Christmas tree since she only used it 1 year and was basically brand new. We put it up and then the next day threw it in the trash and went and got a new one. She smoked like this for almost 60 years. At 74. She's way past the life expectancy of someone that has smoked that long. And the smoking isn't even her only health concern. I have no idea what's keeping this woman alive. I was admitted for pancreatitis once and the doctors and nurses repeatedly asked if I used dogs or was a heavy drinker. No to both. They continually didn't believe me even though I told them to test me. I was in the hospital for over a week without once having any withdrawal symptoms. I know that patients lie, but it's just as frustrating when you're telling the truth and they don't believe you. Even my wife told them several times that I did not drink or use dogs, but they kept saying it's extremely rare to get pancreatitis if you're not a heavy user. I've been hospitalized 3 times for pancreatitis because 2 other members of my family have had it. They've decided with me that it's genetic and blood sugar related, but the number of times I'm asked how much do you drink, instead of do you drink, irritates me. Read my damn file. This last time when the intern started on that path, I replied with I'm Muslim and take my faith seriously. I didn't have my hijab on. I was too sick to care at that point. The intern's name was Mohammed. He quit with that line of questioning. Not a doctor, but my cokehead uncle has suffered from sinus infections for years as a result of his use. He lies about the cause of his infection saying it's allergies, a cold, or the flu to garner pity from others. He's on disability and Medicaid, so he can easily get in to see a doctor each time he gets sick. He's been on so many antibiotics he can only use the super strong stuff to combat the infections now. He takes pseudoephedrine every day to clear his nose as a result of his allergies. He uses so much pseudoephedrine he has to ask friends to buy it for him because he uses more than his state's monthly limit. He had surgery to open up his nasal passages a few years ago. He felt great for a few months before he went back to having the same issues. Not a doc, but I read medical records for work. One woman went to the ER for a cold sore on her mouth which they determined was due to herpes. She then insisted that she got it from the chicken nuggets that she just ate prior to coming to the ER. That they have never smoked. Meanwhile, I walk in the room and it smells like a bar and my eyes are watering. But yeah, they've never smoked.